Hey guys, welcome to the All Sports Pass Podcast North. My name's Eli.
I'm Max.
We're your host today. And of course, Max, it's been a while since you've last been on the show. How have you been?
I've been good. I've just been busy with wrestling practice.
Mm, Boy, I'm gonna be honest. We're glad to have you back, man. If I'm being honest, like every video I've pretty much done with you seem to be doing very well. So, yeah, I guess you're the good luck charm. All right. But before we get in this video, we're going to talk about we're going to get into the verse of the day here. Today's verse comes from Philippians 1:21. It says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." And before we get in this video, leave a like, subscribe for more college basketball content. Sorry about the camera. Um, and without further ado, let's begin. So the struggles pretty much continued for Tennessee tonight. Basically, and I'm going to be honest, like Kentucky had lost 2 games in a row heading into tonight. They end up, losing to Vanderbilt. And I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, I read that wrong. Sorry. I just straight up read that wrong. Basically, they lost to Vanderbilt. Um, and so because of that, I'm going to be honest, though. The Vanderbilt loss for Tennessee does not honestly seem that bad anymore, in my opinion, because Vanderbilt was able to upset Kentucky. Now, of course, if I'm being honest, if I'm the Vanderbilt athletic director, I probably wanted Kentucky to beat them because of the fact that now they have to pay $500,000 to the opposing school for every court rush. Yeah. Um, Thing about it though is that Tennessee just, like I told you before we started recording, they just can't catch a break right now. They really cannot. And of course they lost to Florida. Of course, give them their first loss of the season. They then lose to Vanderbilt in a game that pretty much also caused Vanderbilt to spend some money. And then they lose to Auburn in a close game. So I was saying, so that's more like a perhaps Tennessee's got it figured out. And then there's a test heading into tonight. And then, of course, they end up losing Kentucky 78-73. And just by watching that game, I'm going to be honest, like the defense just not really was not really closing up the space like that we've talked about in these last few college basketball videos we've done. Um, and I also think that they keep on, I also think that they keep on just allowing like the open shot to fall and as well as everything. And for Tennessee, they also just seem to can't get the shots going down, and that's really been a big problem. Like, just pretty much, it's more of the fact: can Tennessee get a shot to fall when they need it most? And another thing about it is the fact that you know, hold on, let me take a look here. Team stats real quick. I always do this. Hold on, there we go. Um, Like, and you know who Tennessee's leading scorer was tonight?
Who?
Igor Milicic. And, don't get me wrong, Igor's good and all, but he ended up, being the leading 3-point scorer tonight. And if we've seen, Igor's stats from the last couple games, ends up, it ends up, causing just I'm shocked because Igor, I mean, also, I just think because of his height, he's not really that good of a 3-point shooter as he is more of a paint player. And so it's kind of shocking to see him lead the team in 3 points tonight. Now I applaud him. I really do. I just think that the rest of the team was just off tonight. And yeah,
Yeah.
excuse me there. But basically for Tennessee, um, you have, like I say, you have Florida coming to town. Your next game, which is actually this Saturday, and also I don't know if we're going to be covering that game or not. Um, Probably me covering it. Like I don't know about Max yet, but yeah, because life can happen. Um, But however, I do think, of course, that that Florida come to town. This is the team that you lost by 32 as the number one team on the road just a few weeks ago. And if I'm Tennessee, like I'm taking every loss into consideration, like because you now got your first home loss, and you now got to figure out what is not working. And in my opinion, I think the same offense has been running like these last few games, and I just think it's now very predictable what they're going to do, and that's just my opinion. You got any thoughts on it?
From what I saw in the first half, Gully defense struggled for 10 minutes straight. Given given get the second half of the first half, like we stepped it up, took the lead at halftime. Given just fell up from there.
Yeah. And also, the fact is that Zakai Ziegler, of course, going to the locker room, of course, after like in the first half, after that accident, he ends up, coming back out. And in my opinion, of course, now I don't know what it is because I'm no medical expert, but if but for like that kind of reason, I really don't think he should have played on the injury. I really do not, because like now depending on like what it was, like if it's like some that like, and once again, as I said, I'm not a medical expert whatsoever, but basically if it's like an injury to where he could play again, then sure, leave it up to him. But I really think that course where he barely even rested, if he even rested at all in the second half, I really think that he was really over pushing himself, and I just can also see it because like he was also forcing up the shots that that ended up just that just did not fall. And I understand why you're forcing shots in this situation. You're trying to get back through, but however, I also think that of course, like for basketball, of course, in my opinion, it kind of just looked like a 2K game in my opinion, where everybody's just shooting threes.
Yeah.
Like even if they keep on missing, then they go ice cold and just they still keep shooting threes.
Yeah.
That's just what I kept on seeing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what these boys has turned into as well since Kirby really started the trend.
Yeah, and in my opinion, of course, like I also read somewhere like back in the day, like like of course, I think everybody knows who Larry Bird is,
Yeah,
like one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. But the thing about it is this: is that back then, Larry himself went for two whenever he could.
yeah,
The three was used as desperation, and I think they really need to bring that back
yeah,
because you're kind of forcing yourself in like these situations to where you can be too predictable, and of course of the fact that just because of the fact that sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but like you're putting yourself like out there to where you're too predictable, like for example, let's make up a player here. Basically, let's just say the StreamYard duck that you see on the on the screen. Let's just say that he's like a let's put a good number here. Let's say he's like a 92% 3-point shooter, and the only thing he does is shoot threes. Um, Basically, he doesn't go for two or anything, and basically, I know this is so. Sorry, I just. All right. Okay, let's get serious. But basically, like what that means is that now everyone's predicted to make a three nowadays. And now, of course, I think that of course, should the StreamYard go for two, people wouldn't be expecting it because he's a 3-point shooter.
yeah,
But yeah, StreamYard, if you're watching this, I'm not trying to claim the duck or anything. It's your duck. It's just the only thing I could think of. um, but however, I just think that of course, the fact that for for Tennessee is that Tennessee's gonna have to trying to get some shots to fall, and I understand like I really think that in my opinion, like I'm a firm believer in now. And this might be a hot take, but I'm a firm believer in getting just going into the paint and scoring 2 points, and then only using like the 3-point shot may, like, in my opinion, maybe 3 minutes or less, like, left in the half. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Because hey, we ain't gonna be able to rely on StreamYard Duck for a long time. um, yeah, so you got to figure out what's going on, because I think if you keep on playing like from outside, pretty much, that's when that's pretty much I think your weak point, because you're allowing yourself like too much space, and people can like close in on you and everything, and and even if you try to go for it now, I did notice a little bit of of a little confusion on the defense for Kentucky whenever like they were able to get into the paint. The thing about Tennessee, though, is that they're not able to get the shots from the paint to fall, and like I mentioned many times, and Tennessee's just been on a shooting slump like all season. I'm sorry, not all season. The last few games, and getting them to fall is basically getting them to fall is basically just the weakness right now. We like Tennessee is going to have to figure this out moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, I'm gonna be honest at this point. Sorry, I just gotta make y'all laugh one more time. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm also wouldn't be shocked if if it was all Tennessee players against like the other teams. Heck, I'm gonna be honest, on the 3-point shot, StreamYard Ducks going #1 in the NBA draft. um, yeah, but basically the way Tennessee's been playing, heck, I think even the StreamYard Duck can go out there and outperform them on the 3 points. And I'm not trying to rant or anything, but it's just I just think that, of course, if you keep on playing like this, you never know what's going to happen, because you can't keep doing this same kind of offense that you're running, and you have to like try to get the offensive rebounds, because I noticed that Kentucky's had so many open runs to the basket, and as well as the other teams as well that Tennessee's lost to. There have been so many like open teams, like just having a straight path to the basket, and basically they're able to attack the basket without really any defense, and that's really, I think, what is killing Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I also think that that for Tennessee, that every game at this point, in March, of course, the SEC tournament, of course, like it doesn't really matter. Like the only thing that matters is like I think Tennessee's goal is just getting the March Madness. And in my opinion, like of course, I think we're over a month away at this point. But with Tennessee being high ranked in a 64 team bracket, now of course they do need to win some games, because I think if they end up losing like probably 10 straight, then they're done. But I do not think that that is going to be possible. I just don't think. But I do think, of course, that with their ranking, like they're going to make it in regardless. But however, come March, that's when really the real season counts, because your life is on the line in those games, because it's win or go home. And when it's win or go home, you're going to have to figure something out. And Tennessee, they went to the Elite Eight last year, where they lost pretty much to Purdue in the and probably the worst in the StreamYard Ducks. So pretty much, we can't, I'm sorry, for Tennessee. Ugh, I'm stumbling over my words again, man. I keep on thinking about StreamYard Duck for a minute. All right, okay. Hold on, guys. Here, sorry, off topic a little bit. Basically, this is the free plan, pretty much, because like basically this channel is a bit underfunded. So yeah, but however, I think in the future, I think I'm gonna have to probably if we can get it, I think we're gonna have to do that just so we can get rid of it, because it's kind of distracting. I can't even think right now. But I do think, of course, that that Tennessee is. I just think, of course, that with Connect is like, now the thing about Connect though is that I think they had like 4 losses at the time of the Vanderbilt loss, like the previous season. Now, of course, I'm saying like they didn't lose Vanderbilt last season. Like at the point where they lost to Vanderbilt, I think they had like 4 or 5 losses already. It's been a while, I don't remember, but however, I think this team here is actually you know like they're better than we think, but however, they're just going to have to figure out more things, because of the fact of that just because of the fact that that Tennessee just can't keep doing the same thing. It's just getting too predictable, and it's going to be a long it's going to be a long March Madness and SEC conference play if they keep this up.
Yeah.
And basically, Zakai, just also, I think, of course, that injury pretty much impacted him tonight as well, because I think, of course, that he just was on a slump tonight. Lanier was on a slump a little bit. Now Lanier did have 15 points, but he only went 3 of 10 on the 3-pointers, and he also went 5 of 14 on the field goals and everything. So yeah, but however, as well as the fact that when we see this here is that Dubar had 7 points. Like basically here are the leading scores here. Of course, we had Igor with 19, Lanier with 15, Ziegler with 13, and then Dubar with 7, and Meshack were tied with 6. So basically, Tennessee just has, it's like I said, Tennessee just has not been having a good night or a good few games. And to make it up, I think, of course, you have a chance to redeem yourself against Florida. But, however, can Tennessee overcome the Gators? Can they beat the Gators and not become Gator bait for the second time this season? I don't know, but it is going to be it's a different game now because it is on Tennessee's court. So, yeah, and yeah, so I think that's all I got. You got anything?
Hold on.
All
Hold up real quick. So, also, not to mention, Kentucky had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players get 10 points or more. Tennessee, on the other hand, only had 1, 2, 3 players get 10 points or more.
Yeah, and that's yeah, and I also think that, of course, that Tennessee's going to have to probably start being a bit more like, I think they're going to have to pass the ball a little more.
Yeah.
But I do think, of course, that, as I said, they're going to have to, I think, just attack the basket more, because I don't think you can afford to waste so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically, yeah, so I think that's all I got for me. So yeah, anything you want to add?
Nah.
All right, let's do our player of the game. I'm gonna do Igor simply because because he was having a good night from beyond the arc, and he actually led the team in 3-pointers, and he also was their leading scorer. So I'm gonna give an some applause to him. He did amazing. He actually improved a bit tonight, so I'll do that.
So my player of the game won't be from Tennessee. But be Kentucky's Kobe Bria, because he went 5 for 5 again, field goals, 18 points, 3 for 3 again, 3-pointers, and yeah, this was like insane. 3 rebounds on 3 assists too.
Man, it looks like we're probably gonna have to start a player of the game category for both teams in the future. I also did not expect you to do that. It is what it is. Hey, we learn as we go,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for y'all. That's all we got for y'all tonight. If y'all like this video, get a like, subscribe for more college basketball content. And with that being said, peace out. God bless. Good night. And hopefully the StreamYard Doug does not shoot some more threes over you.